We're live. Okay, welcome everybody. Just give us 1 second. We are going live on the other site as well. So give us just 1 second to get that going.
Oh, I'm so excited. Ready for my close-up.
All right, looks like we're live on both. Welcome to the 3:15 book break. We're very glad you're here.
Yay.
I am Librarian Mark.
I'm Librarian Cara.
And today, today
we don't even have the heavy books this week, and we're still shaking the table.
We're still shaking the table, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing that and apologize to everybody who's feeling motion sick right now. Librarian Cara, let's start with you today. What have you got to share with us?
So I was super excited to come to this week's book break because new movie came out last weekend. I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers coming. But Death on the Nile, the new adaptation of Agatha Christie's Poirot book, just came out. And at the library, you can get the last one that Kenneth Branagh made, which is Murder on the Orient Express, or you could watch the old Poirot David Suchet DVDs. But I love Poirot. I love Agatha Christie, and I'll take any adaptation I can get, including the 1940s version of And Then There Were None that you can get on Access Video on demand through the library. But you know, I think there are a lot of people, and myself included, and I'm a librarian, right? And I didn't know about this until about 2 years ago. Is that Sophie Hannah has actually been continuing the Poirot books.
Oh.
And so new author, but with the allowance of the Christie estate, there are new Poirot, and they're set in the 20s, so pretty early on in his career. Truthfully, the fun thing is I like the concept. I don't always love the execution, but isn't that part of the fun of books, is getting to debate, oh no, not as good as the original, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Wheel of Time that did that. You've got Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that did that as well.
True. I turn 42 next month. I'm looking forward to rereading that.
Excellent.
Oh, speaking of science fiction.
So last year I made a decision to try and read every Hugo winner novel that I had not ever read. And here's the important thing about when you set yourself a book challenge. It's okay if you decide to give up after about 9 months. I just stopped. I'd read way too much early 1950s white male misogynistic writers and decided...
Wait, is it okay that I like Heinlein?
That's okay. That's fine.
I mean, he's controversial and I don't like all his ideas. But
yes, but there's still there is worth to a lot of his writing. But anyway, I just want to talk about a few of the ones that I really enjoyed. And the first one I wanted to talk about was Paladin of Souls, which won in 2004. You might know Lois McMaster Bujold for the Vorkosigan sagas. This is much more fantasy inspired than it is science fiction.
You can tell by the cover.
You can tell by the cover.
Sometimes we do judge books by their cover.
We do. It is set in a land that's feudal overlords. There's demons. There's a woman who maybe she's mad, maybe she's not. They think she's mad. She's pretty sure that she's not. And she's she's been God touched, and she has to travel around and try and rid the world of demons. And she gets to do it in the company of a very handsome lord who might be dead. Anyway, it's called Paladin of Souls. It won the Hugo back in 2004. Very well worth a read. Over to you.
Well, you know who I think's handsome?
Tim Curry.
Absolutely, Tim Curry. I figured you knew where I was going there. So this is Clue, the movie, which I'm super excited that we're going to be showing at Spring Film later this year. Very exciting. Keep an eye on the schedule. But the reason I thought of this, my theme, in case you haven't caught on yet this week, is mysteries that have been turned into movies or media.
Excellent.
And there's a great series of books. The first one was In the Hole with a Knife. It's currently checked out of the library, so this is what I've got. And it's by Diana Peter Freund. And so Clue the movie takes a board game and makes it into a hilarious movie. Diana Peter Freund is, with the permission of the Clue people, taking the concept of that movie and turning it into young adult mystery.
Fantastic.
And it is fantastic. And there's a green and a plum and a mustard and an everybody. 2 sequels. There's In the Study with a Wrench and In the Ballroom with a Candlestick. And they're just so much fun because if you love the hijinks of this and you like young adult mystery, you can't go wrong. Makes me happy.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about, this is from 1961, A Canticle for Leibowitz.
Oh, I haven't read that one either.
It is by Walter M. Miller Jr., actually. And it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, post-apocalyptic America, and it revolves around you travel, you're set in like 4 different time periods around a monastery for the Blessed Saint Lieberwitz. As you go forward, you discover that the holy writings are probably a grocery list. And it's all about the church and knowledge and man rediscovering knowledge and not really changing the same way. One of my favorite things about it is that at the end of each age, there's 4 different ages, it talks about the effect on nature. So it keeps on talking about what the buzzards were up to and how they were interacting with main characters who may or may not still be alive. There was a
cockroaches.
Yeah. There was a sequel written, and that was actually finished off by another writer because he passed away before he finished it off. But yeah, A Canticle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller. This won the Hugo back in 1961.
Wow. I feel like people who like that one might also like John Scalzi's The Android's Dream, which is also sort of about prophecies and a future where they've maybe forgotten that this was not actually meant to be a prophecy originally.
Is it based off of Blade Runner or
just the title?
It's
a fun play on the title. And John Scalzi won Hugo as well for Red Shirts.
He did back in 2013.
Yeah. So now I tried to choose a variety of mysteries. This is DeathNote. This is, I'm holding in my hand right now, specifically the anime version of DeathNote. For all of you who saw the Netflix series that came out a year or 2 ago, or the Netflix movie, it was a one-shot. I'm sorry. Please erase it from your mind. For those of you who didn't see it, don't see it. Either watch the anime or get your hands on, there are 2 different movies from the early 2000s with the same actor from Battle Royale, actually.
Excellent.
He's not a great actor, but he was good in those 2 movies. And so there are good media adaptations, but if you really want to go for it, go for the original manga. DeathNote, the reason this blows my mind is I read mystery. I never try and decide the ending before. I just enjoy the story. Okay, thank you.
Just keeping it in screen. There you go.
I just enjoy the story. I'm never good at solving mysteries, so I'm one of those mystery readers who's along for the ride. But I always wonder, how do mystery writers figure it out? Like, some of the intricacies feel like you'd have to have a certain way of your mind working to be able to come up with these twists and turns. And in this story, Light Yagami finds a Grim Reaper's book and decides that he can kill people just by writing their names in the book. And he decides, you know what? I've got all the power now. I am smarter than all y'all. And so I'm going to change the world by killing specific people in specific ways. And it is so interesting, and the twists and turns it takes. I love it. It is well illustrated as well, and lots of fun. So if you've not gotten into manga yet, or you're looking for a new one, and no, not new, 20 years old, but still a great one, that is DeathNote by Tsugumi Ohba.
Cara also mentioned a movie and a manga called Battle Royale. If you enjoyed a series you may have heard of called The Hunger Games, Battle Royale was very much an influence on the creation of that series.
And interestingly, we are hoping to get the book back in stock. It's on order, but there's actually a slowdown in publishing right now that's making it harder to get some books in that we otherwise might.
Okay, all right. The last one that I'll go into with any great detail is Connie Willis's To Say Nothing of the Dog.
Wait, don't talk about the dog.
Indeed.
Okay.
This is time travel. It's science. It's comedy, science writing, and it is a love letter to Britishness and British mores. It's all about trying to find the bishop's stump, and you don't really know what that is, but it's all around if this thing is not found, reality as we know may disappear because people have been messing around in the timeline, but the people who've been sent back in time are now boating down the Thames. There's mistaken identity. A couple that were supposed to get together are not getting together anymore. They're dealing with people who are running church fates, control freaks running church fates, and that kind of thing.
To translate for our viewers, that's a church fete, and it's like a bazaar at a church.
Like a bazaar at a church. Rummage sale, garage sale, car trunk sale.
You'll probably find some of them in Old Poirot.
Something like that. All right, but yeah, this one back in 1999. It's the same. She also won for the Doomsday Book a few years earlier than that. I think back in like 92 or something.
Are they connected or not?
Same universe, same ministry.
Wait, so all that to say nothing of the dog.
To say nothing of the dog, and it's actually to say nothing of the dog is actually based on the title is based on an 1890s satirical book of three men punting down the Thames. It's called Three Men in a Rowboat. To say nothing of the dog, and that's where the name came from.
Nice. Well, but I'm disappointed because you chose the 3 books that you had selected that I actually haven't read. You have 2 more books here. Do you just want to show them really quick? I have
two other books. Just
one I liked and one I didn't so much, but that's okay. Everybody gets to like or not like books for themselves.
This is this year's Hugo winner, Martha Wells, Network Effect. I have not read it personally myself, but I did want to show it. We do have this year's Hugo Award. This is from the Murderbot Diaries.
I love it. I have read it. It's a lot of fun.
And then another one that I was going to talk about if we had time, but we're running out. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. This is a book. It's a big fat book. I struggled to read this one. I tried it several times to read it. It is available on Libby as an audiobook, and that's how. And once I got into it that way, I actually really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people have started to read this book and they haven't got through it. I do recommend, and I was one of them like 2 or 3 times. I recommend listening to it on the audiobook. I really got into it. Set yourself several hours because it's like 32 hours plus. And, but it's great.
And I'm going to take this over because it also fits my category of mysteries turned into media, which is you can find a mini-series of it that exists as well. Although I would argue I listened to it audio and it didn't work, and reading it. So try either way. It's wonderful to have a choice.
That's the plan. Anyway, that was the 3:15 book break. Thanks for being here, Librarian Cara.
Thanks for being here, Librarian Mark. Lots of fun. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks everybody for watching us, and we will be back again next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Yay.
And that's 1,